All right, everyone. So I saw this article from Game Rant, and I was a little bit not like I was a little bit confused because it says Gears of War Reloaded beta cut short, and I was like, I don't know what that even means, right? I didn't think it was. Now, to be fair, I stopped playing I think at 1 o'clock, so I didn't know if it had been cut short in any way, shape, or form. But I don't think it actually was. So that's why we're going to do this video. But I want to, I saw this. I want to generate a summary here to see what the summary is, and then we'll get into the actual game. The Gears of War Reloaded beta was cut short due to widespread connectivity issues, frustrating players and raising concerns about the game's stability. Gears of War Reloaded is a significant release for Xbox as it marks the franchise's arrival on PlayStation. All right, we don't need to read some of this. The beta was unexpectedly shut down in the middle of Sunday, cutting short the typical full weekend of testing. Fans expressed frustration and backlash online, criticizing the decision not to extend the testing period and voicing concerns about the full release on August 26th. The next beta is scheduled for June 20th to 22nd and will include additional game modes. It remains to be seen if the coalition can rectify the issues from the prior beta weekend before the full release. So before we get into the article, and I'm obviously going off of that summary that was AI, so maybe it's not fully giving us the truth here, but the beta was always supposed to end at 3 on Sunday. From what I remember, from the original thing that I read, it was always supposed to have that happen. So I don't think it was actually cut short. Now, even in our first video, I did say I thought, look, maybe you keep this thing open till 5 or 6 because you had a pretty bad day on Friday, but you had a really good day in every other way. Like, you know what I mean? Like the other days were fine as it pertained to, at least for me, as it pertains to connectivity issues. I was finding matches all the time, so I didn't really have a problem with it. After facing numerous issues, the Gears of War Reloaded multiplayer beta was abruptly cut short last weekend. Gears of War 5 or Gears of War 5. Gears of War Reloaded is one of, if not the most anticipated Xbox games coming to PS5, but widespread connectivity problems in the game's first beta frustrated lots of players and raised concerns about its overall stability. As one of Xbox's tentpole franchises, Gears of War Reloaded upcoming revival on PlayStation marks a big step for Microsoft's multi-platform initiative. Gears of War Reloaded is a current gen remaster of 2015's Gears of War Ultimate Edition, which itself was a remastered version of the franchise or the first franchise entry from the Xbox 360 days. Therefore, Gears of War Reloaded will serve as the perfect entry point to the franchise for PlayStation fans, that too with modern bells and whistles like enhanced 4K visuals and 120 FPS multiplayer. Unfortunately, the first flavor of the latter hasn't gone down well among fans new and old. The inaugural Gears of War Reloaded multiplayer beta went live on June 13th, and many players across Xbox Series X, PC, and PS5 expectedly hopped on to check out the modernized cult classic shooter. Sadly, reports soon began pouring into Gears of War Reloaded players being unable to connect to matches throughout the weekend due to overloaded servers. Some Xbox and PC users couldn't even access the beta at all because the free upgrade had not yet been applied to their account. These issues were compounded when the Gears of War Reloaded beta was unexpectedly shut down in the middle of Sunday, cutting short what was typically a full weekend of testing. Severely disappointed, this game can't launch like this in August, so I really hope you all make changes, hoping the beta is actually utilized how it should be. So I just want to check really quick the date on that. So that came on Sunday. Now, I did not have I like I said, I'm talking maybe from ignorance here. I had problems Friday and we did a video on it as you saw, but after that I had no problems with the game. Didn't get lag. I mean, I had maybe one game that kind of cut out and then I was able to get back in another one, like, lost connection to the host. But, if this is true widespread here, or some that they couldn't even access the beta, maybe that was if that was more of a problem past Friday, then yeah, that's a big concern and that's bigger than I thought. But I didn't have any of these issues. And it was not cut short. It was, from what I remember, and I'm pretty sure the article we read, I think I did a video on it, so we can go back and look at that. The article I read was from Game Rant, and they said it was at 3 that it was going to shut down, 3 p.m. Eastern time. I'm talking about, right? So, and whatever it was, 12 p.m. PT, I think, as it shows there. So, yeah, I don't know about that. Given the already limited access, the premature end of the Gears of War Reloaded beta incited sizable frustration and backlash from fans online. While beta tests are often used to expose these types of problems, the short test window and widespread connectivity woes of the Gears of War Reloaded beta gave players and developers, the coalition, little room to work with. Several fans criticized the decision not to extend the testing period, especially in light of how many players were locked out for most of it. and some even voiced fears that the full release of Gears of War Reloaded on August 26th could be rushed or undercooked. So I 100% agree with the idea. I would have loved to have seen them just say, look, Friday was a disaster. We're going to give you till 8 o'clock on Sunday. I would have loved that. Thought they should have done that. But I don't think that's the same as them cutting it early because of connectivity issues. And once again, maybe I'm missing something because I very well could be. And put in the comments if I am, because I don't want to be speaking out of ignorance here. I can only speak from some of the comments we've gotten on this channel, and I can only speak from my own personal experience. After Friday, like Saturday and Sunday were like it was perfect for me in terms of connection. It was like perfect. It could have launched in that state that day. And I don't know, maybe if there was less people playing on those 2 days, right? Maybe, but I had no problem on those 2 days. So I don't know. In all fairness, Gears of War Reloaded launch is more than 2 months away, and the connectivity problems players face in the first weekend of the beta could well be fixed by the next, which is slated to go live on Friday, June 20th, and conclude on Sunday, June 22nd. The next beta weekend will include the King of the Hill on Canals, Team Deathmatch on Courtyard, and War Machine game modes of Gears of War Reloaded, and one can only hope that the coalition will have rectified most, if not all, the issues of the prior beta weekend. Yeah, so Friday's going to be big because it should launch, I would hope, in the same exact way that it launched Saturday and Sunday. You know, Friday was bad. Don't get me wrong. We did a video on it. It was so bad. I didn't want to just do that video, for clicks. I wanted to do that video because I was like, hey guys, we're kind of, screwing up here. People are excited to play this game and we can't freaking play it. What's going on? This doesn't feel like that though. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. It didn't feel like the next 2 days there was any more of that problem. I want to look down here and see in the comments. I wasn't planning on trying out the gears, but it's unfortunate that so many players, that's the only one. Okay. So this is the only comment, and it's saying, like, I don't, so I guess this guy didn't play it, but, yeah, I don't know. Look, like I said, I'm more than willing, put in the comment section if I'm wrong. If there was, like, legitimately this, like, giant, like, weekend of basically nobody could play, and I was, like, one of the only ones that had great connection, then, that's a problem. If people who pre-ordered the game and were supposed to get the beta didn't get the beta past Friday, that's an issue, right? If this was a like I said, it's not that, and I'm not trying to run cover for them either. Like, even what was going on Friday, it's not great, right? But I'm just pointing out that if they fixed it in a timely manner, it's a lot less of an issue. It's part of the reason that the beta is the beta, right? It's part of the reason you have a beta. But when people pre-order it, right? Maybe somebody said I'm pre-ordering specifically for the beta, and if they don't get it, that's an issue. And I do think they should have extended. Like I've been clear about that. They should have extended the playing period in my personal opinion because you're telling people pre-order the game so you get access to this, and then Friday was, you basically could not do it. I played a few matches, but even by Friday night, I was unable to get into matches. I was unable to do it. But Saturday and Sunday were perfect. So we can't just say that the beta was a complete failure, right? But put in the comments if I'm wrong on this. I just thought this was an interesting article, and I'm just trying to make sure that whatever the narrative about this game is, let's put out one that's fair, right? We can criticize the kind of what happened Friday, but also point out that they fixed it rather quickly. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.